Hello, my name is David Asaf, and I am going to be sharing with you my project for CS6460 Educational Technology. My project's title is A-Star Instructor, Connecting Great Teachers with Your Organization. Just a little bit about myself. I am a software engineer in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm very eager to explain my project, and that's where I'll begin. I'll start with what A-Star Instructor actually is. It is a platform to connect organizations with great instructors. The goal was from the beginning to go ahead and create a way for organizations to connect with experts in the field who are able to effectively communicate different topics. Specifically, my project is focusing on tech. And this project really stemmed from my own organization that I'm a part of, where plenty of times we have a learning and development center. Plenty of times we have needed to hire experts to get into our actual building to actually have some hands-on workshops. And it has been very difficult for the people organizing those topics and those different workshops to find experts that truly know what they're talking about as far as the tech goes. And it's usually word of mouth and many different ways that we find great people. But this platform is set out to connect organizations with people who would like to teach. It's also for field experts to publish their courses, just like you would expect from any OOC, where different instructors are publishing their different courses. This would be allowing those same instructors, or even more instructors beyond what's actually people who are available in MOOCs, to actually get out and publish their courses in a personal level. And also it fulfills the demand of the learning company. That trend that is happening where companies are desiring to truly offer great opportunities of learning within their organization. Also, really what this is getting at is that this differs from an MOOC, and we'll start with that next. Really, why another learning platform? So what's different is MOOCs are meant to provide on-demand personal teaching. And that means that I can log into my computer and go to Udemy, Udacity, or any of these popular MOOCs and start learning whatever I desire for maybe a small fee or maybe for nothing, and just start personally developing myself at an on-demand pace. Also, MOOCs are often not viewed as formal training at a company. I've noticed this in plenty of different places where formal training is considered to be a workshop where you go and invest maybe 4 days or so, and that's unfortunately not the case for an MOOC. Usually we find individuals who are eager to learn and are spending time in personal development in these ways, but often there's no credit for that training because it's not considered formal. This is changing, by the way, with that trend that we were talking about, the learning and development trend and the learning company trend. The MOOCs are starting to become more of a formal training, but for the most part, most companies still do not see them as formal training. Also, experts brought in to teach a formal training session are often contracted through a middleman. We find that plenty of times organizations need people to teach items, but the way they go and do that is by hiring someone who has a network of people who they know that are capable of teaching. And often these experts are not necessarily the best in the field. They are just in that contact and networking zone of that middleman. And so these companies and organizations may not be receiving the best expert who is actually maybe even passionate about the topic, hopefully passionate about the topic. And experts have an opportunity to connect with organizations in a more direct way, going around that middleman. There's this opportunity where a teacher or instructor can directly communicate with an organization. Moreover, if an instructor is found through an MOOC, while an organization may contact that person directly and have that type of contact, it seems in a platform where it's geared towards actually getting an instructor to that organization's on-site meeting or on-site teaching would be more effective for connecting that person or that instructor. And I think that begs the question, has anyone done this yet? And it turns out there are a couple solutions out there. These are just a few examples. We'll start with the individual to instructor solutions. So in this case, we'll go to dabble.com. And Dabble is a way to connect instructors to anybody who is looking to learn a skill. Here we find featured categories. We have some macrame classes, some rock climbing classes, some probably looks like some mixology classes, podcasting, plenty of personal skills that someone can actually learn, and it's based off the city. Great service. But this is more of a individual to instructor solution, right? Not necessarily connecting instructors to an organization. We also see specific technology to organization solutions. Plenty of times we see organizations connect with other solutions and tech solutions, and they get them on site. One of the popular ones that I haven't listed here is New Relic does this quite a bit. If you're familiar with them, they go out on site, host these workshops. Here's one from Docker. We'll just quickly go here. Docker training offers plenty of ways that you can schedule on-site training, right? For 2 days, we're looking at about $1,500, 2 days. And even I think they do offer these 4-day courses here. But plenty of courses for you to get an on-site professional Docker expert to your organization. And this is, once again, connecting a specific technology like Docker to an organization. And to finish this section up, I'm going to say that no one has truly connected an instructor to organizations directly with any type of actual training set. In this case, we see that Docker is the only thing offered on their page, of course, but in a platform where maybe it's completely agnostic to what type of technology is being taught and rather just focusing on connecting instructors to organizations. I do not believe that has actually been done. So next I'd like to talk about the deliverables that I actually set out to finish in this project. Beginning of this project, I set out to deploy a platform, top one we've been talking about, that displays multiple courses. Also to separate course pages where organizations can request to connect with an instructor, so there'd be multiple course pages, and authentication for a future instructor login portal. So I wanted to get the authentication done so that we could have an opportunity to actually, further down the road, allow for instructors to have more of an admin page and be able to do what they should be able to do on this platform. And with that, we'll go and start a demo. So clicking this demo link has taken us to the actual deployed instructor app. And so in here we find ourselves at the landing page where we find, at this point, this is all just mocked up data, but we find the quick thing of getting the organization the best teacher. We also have different courses here that are available to be selected. So we'll go to click the React Master course. So in here we find the different types of information on this actual course. Once again, this is mock data. We have the title, we have a description at the bottom here, we have some learning objectives, and all of this would be able to be created and curated by the actual instructor. So we have here learn basic React principles, learn modern React 16 principles, etc., etc. We also have a course schedule here that would allow the organization to see what this actual instructor's course should look like on site. So we have here the different types of lessons, how long it would take here on the right, and just to estimate how actually it should take. Also, we have the instructor's small little excerpt here. Obviously, we don't have anything here, but it would say the instructor's name, it would have their email and phone contact if they wanted to be directly contacted. If the organization wanted to actually request the class, they can do so by clicking this, by opening up a modal. And we can select exactly what days we would want to request this person to come. And in this case, we have a 2-day class. So let's say I wanted it to happen maybe next year, sometime in January. Let's say I wanted this to be a Monday to Tuesday class. We'll select Monday here, Tuesday here. I would say the location. So if I really cared about where, I truly want these people to come out, this instructor to come out to our organization. So I can type in an address here. And here I'm just typing a address that is not necessarily an organization, but go select it, it's residential. And then the number of participants. So how many participants should this instructor actually expect to see? And so here we'll put 20. And you would submit this request, and once you've submitted this request for, here I've submitted it to David Asaf here, to actually, who's the instructor, and he should receive that on the other end and say, hey, we have an organization that has actually requested. And there's a lot more around this that needs to be built out, of course, but that's the main flow that we built out so far. Obviously, clicking the header here will take you back. Another thing I'd like to show here is the authentication portion. So if you're able to log in or sign up, you come here. We're using Auth0 to actually get someone authenticated. Last time I logged in with, of course, my email. I could click not my account, create new accounts, etc. Here I'm just going to sign in with my own, and now I actually have my email up here. So that was a quick demo of the actual deliverable. There's obviously a lot more work to go, but let's talk about the technical stack that was used to build this. So really simple here. We have obviously the client, which was built in React and TypeScript. The client is leveraging Auth0 to collect a JWT and actually authenticate that person. Right now, the authentication is really doing nothing at this point because most of all the data that was being displayed, which should be public. So really that JWT will come in handy when an instructor actually goes to log in and actually proceeds to create a course and display that course out. We have some web assets that are stored in Amazon AWS S3. We have a Node.js server that is doing client-side rendering, but the Node.js server is doing server-rendered React, which is pretty neat. And we also are using TypeScript for that. And GraphQL server to serve our data, but it only has one data point right now, which is just a PostgreSQL database. And I'm deploying with Heroku. And Heroku was just a choice because it's very simple to deploy, and that's why you'll see the domain there actually have a Heroku domain. So future work. Keep mentioning that there's a good bit of work left. Really, there needs to be an instructor admin. Instructors need to be able to build out their own courses. This is right now just running off of mock data, but presumably what would happen in the future would be that an instructor could come in and build these courses. Of course, we should add a more robust scheduler. The current setup really only allows instructors to get notified about a potential opportunity, but we need to really enhance that communication between the organization and the instructor, and that's really what we're trying to build here. So being more robust in that scheduler and communication is key. And better designs. I think you would agree with me by saying that the designs are fairly on the poor side, and that's mainly because I myself am not a designer, and this was one of my first few projects where I took on a full stack, including the client designs. So in that case, there could be much to work on in these designs. And that's A-Star Instructor. I hope you enjoyed listening about it.